Hey everyone, Paul Johnson, Waconia, Minnesota, and Laughing Trout Fly Tying Club. Today we're going to be tying the Lage Stop and Go Soft Hackle. So this fly was created by one of the members of our club, Randy Lage. It's a standard soft hackle, but it's kind of a unique pattern. The body is tied with green tinsel, and in the ribbing is red wire. The thorax, if you can see that in there, is super bright dubbing in peacock. The collar is Hungarian partridge, and it's tied with red 14-aught thread. It's called a stop and go because if you look at it one way, one direction, it's kind of green, and if you look at it the other way, it kind of looks red. So you pick up either the green tinsel or the red wire, depending on the direction you're looking at it. So stop and go soft hackle. So here we go. We're going to tie this fly on a size 16 scud hook, so standard size scud hook, 14-aught red thread. Get that started. Next I'm going to tie in a length of red wire. This is size brassy, and I'm just going to tie that in so it stays right in line with the hook shank down and around the bend of the hook. Next I'm going to tie in a length of green tinsel. This is a holographic green tinsel, size medium. Get that started and tied in. And then I'll advance my thread up to the front of the hook. Just throw a half hitch knot in there so don't bump it off. And then I will wrap that tinsel forward. Typically I would use my rotary feature on my vise, but I thought maybe this would show up a little bit better on the camera if I did it this way. So just keeping it smooth all the ways up to the front of the hook. Secure that with my tying thread, and then clip the excess. I'm going to come in and just make a couple additional wraps of tying thread just to make sure that tinsel is bound down good. Next, that red wire, I'm going to counter wrap it. You don't have to counter wrap it. It's more just a habit for me to wrap all my wire in a counter wrap fashion. So you're going to keep these even spaced wraps, but they're going to be just a little bit closer together than what you would typically wrap wire. So all the ways to the front of the hook, we'll secure that with tying thread. And then I can clip that excess off. The thorax is going to be peacock dubbing, or actually super bright dubbing in the peacock color. And so I'm going to form a thorax on the fly with this. So we're just going to couple inch doubling noodle on my tying thread. And form a dubbing ball right there. Now if you got some stray ones like these sticking out, you just come in and cut those off. Next I have take my partridge feather. What I like to do is get a hold of the tip feather of the feathers with my tweezers, get it like that, and that's where I'm going to tie it in. Now I'm actually just going to fold that back and wrap that down, secure that in place. Get a hold of the stem of the feather with my hackle pliers, and I'm going to make about 2 or 3 turns. Now this first turn with this feather, be very gentle with it because that stem is pretty fragile. Come around and I'll kind of pull everything back, make another full wrap of that feather. I'll come in with my tying thread behind the stem, and then another wrap in front of the stem. And I mentioned the other day when I did my other video, if you hang your tying thread around the adjustment knob kind of keeps that tension back, and so if you were happen to bump it, it's not all going to come undone on you. Okay, next, just kind of pull everything back, get a hold of it, and come in with my tying thread and form a pretty pronounced head with the thread. And what I'm also doing is I'm pushing that feather, the wrap of that Hungarian partridge, back to that dubbing ball. Come in and do a 4 or 5 turn whip finish. Clip this one barb off. And there you go. There's a Lage stop and go soft hackle. So this is one of the first patterns that I learned from Randy when I joined our Laughing Trout Fly Tying Club a number of years ago. So just wanted to give a big shout out to Randy. Thank you.